I'm Rob, and today we are at the Bat and Bull in Breamore. The Bat and Bull, it dates from 1927, but it's on the site of a much older coaching inn. And the name Breamore comes from the Old English for a broom-covered marsh. Anyway, we're going to start our walk by walking south, back towards Ringwood. Off we go. Well, it was supposed to be a bright, sunny, yellow sunshine day today, but as you can see, it's wet, although it has stopped raining, so be thankful for that. The first junction on the left, we're going to turn left down towards Wood Green. That's a nice farm conversion there. Got a barn. And we've got a nice pond. Now we're currently crossing over the railway bridge that crosses the old Salisbury and Dorset Junction Railway. That went from Salisbury to West Moors in Dorset. It was built in 1866 and the line closed in 1964. You can see Breamore Station down there, which is still extant, and it belongs to the Railway Hotel. Lots of nice old signs there. Very historic village, Breamore. Carry on down the lane. No path here, so be careful. Very pretty little backwater. Now if we cross the road, and then we cross the bridge, you'll see here very pretty old watermill. So a few yards down the road we're back at Bridge Cottages, and there's a footpath and a stile, and we're going to take that footpath across the field. They cross over another stile by the horses. He's still looking. They cross over this long strip field. There's a gate there that takes us onto the old railway track. We've come down through that gate. We're on the track bed of the Salisbury and Dorset Junction line. We're going to turn left, but first of all I'm going to turn right and walk up and get a better view of the station, because it's lovely preservation of it. You can see the bridge there in the distance and the station, and just have a little dog leg up and have a look. It really is beautifully preserved. It's almost like a train could pull up and you could step on it now. Imagine how many people are sat on the wall over there waiting for the presumably the up train or the down train, I don't know which. Signage. Trev's been off looking for the station loo with the dairy crunch machine. And of course this would have been the old station master's cottage. Back down the line to pick up from where we left off. Oh, will you look at that, look. There's an old railway building, obviously operated by United Dairies. And probably the old churn train would stop, load up with churns from there and disappear off to Salisbury or wherever. So after the detour to the station we're back here again. Unlike what it shows on the map, we turn left here and then shortly after turn right. And here we are, we go up through this gate.
Yeah, the stinging nettles aren't seasonal, are they?
And on that bit of wisdom, nor the prickles, we head across this rough but clearly defined path to the gap in the hedge. Through here to the main road where Trev is, and we're going to turn left. A short hop along the main Salisbury Ringwood Road, and we're going to turn right at this next junction down the lane. A gnarly old oak tree, a few hundred years old. Anyway, we carry on down the lane. And the first lane junction on the right, we're going to follow it. Nice display of pampas grass there. A quaint little cottage, huddled away in the undergrowth. Oh, a boarded up window. Now at the cottage and the farm, tarmac gives way to gravel, and we carry straight on, not round to the right, but round slightly to the left. A lovely Victorian building, Marsh Farm, being done up and looked after. So, boundary of Marsh Farm, big old tree, the path goes to the left. It looked like it might be a bit difficult to find a path as we entered from Marsh Farm, but it's actually a very, very well defined and fenced path. Bit of farm equipment there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is like a holding pen for sheep. They come through and get howled there and sheared or whatever needs to be done. I think. I'm not a farmer. So you come to a junction in the footpaths, and we're carrying straight on. So straight across the field, again clearly defined path towards that house. There's Top's farm over there if you're looking at the map. And we've crossed over a little lane after we come out the field, and we're going into another field now by the wonky sign. Trev will demonstrate how to climb over the stile.
Yeah, I've got to be very careful, it's slippy.
Go on then.
Oh, God's sake.
Oh dear. Oh, old man groans. And then we're going to turn right.
Got away with it.
How's the knees?
Oh, it's not my knees, it's my back.
As the road bends off to the left, you've got a choice of footpaths. There's three. But we're going for the one here to the right, which slightly bends back on itself. Now, the footpath is straight on, but don't miss to the right this little gate leading onto another footpath, because that is where we've got to go. And nice views from up here. Down over the Avon Valley. Trouble opening. And down the slope. Out onto a little lane by a lovely cottage. So lovely quiet area as we pass those cottages. And there's a barn. I haven't mentioned it for a long time. It's like the yew trees. I tend to mention it every walk, so I gave up mentioning it, and now I think I haven't mentioned it at all. But these stone or concrete pillars, whatever they are, underneath the barn, they're called staddle stones. And the staddle stones supposedly stop rats from climbing up, because the rats will climb up and then there's the overhang and the rats won't be able to get over it to get into the barn. But I bet they do. Very distinctive design of big houses in Breamore with these, I don't know what they are, leaded windows possibly. The gables and chimneys. Anyway, onwards down the lane. Now, this very pretty barn, we are turning left. Now, what a beautiful house. The rookery. I don't know, probably 18th century maybe. Morning! So we're coming up to Breamore House, the visitor attraction. Turn right along the lane. Now the footpath leads along the side of the barns, but I'm going to take you through the visitor attraction. It's not a right of way. It goes to the same place and you'll be able to see what a fantastic attraction it is. If for whatever reason it's closed, then carry on down the lane and there's a footpath to the left that skirts the barns. But as I said, I'm going to take you through sort of the entrance to the museum and tell you a little bit about what they've got there. Over to the right, there's a very, very nice cafe. There's some lovely food in there. Got games and things you can play as well, little sort of pub board games, oldie-fashioned pub board games. There's the farm shop and museum over there, so you go over there and get your tickets to the museum, and do that. It's a fantastic museum. It's got like reconstructions of shops and streets and cobblers and that sort of thing. And then you walk on through and there's lots and lots of farm machinery, sort of combine harvesters, tractors, you name it. It's all in there. It's well worth a visit. You can also visit the house. Anyway, we're going to walk on through for the time being towards the house. Now we've walked through the courtyard and we're following the Breamore House this way signs, which is to the right. What do you know, there's a caravan meet here. A coachman like mine over there. Anyway, that is the footpath you would take. That's the right of way. As I say, we came through the museum, which isn't really a right of way at all, but you can go to the farm shop and that there. And this is a right of way, believe it or not, despite the big iron gates. So we're going to turn left up here. What you do when the gates are shut, I'm not absolutely certain. There's no little side gate you can go through like some stately homes. But there is a green button push to enter, so presumably you push it and the gate opens and you enter. Anyway, let's walk up here and take a quick look at the house. This is Breamore House. Breamore House is an Elizabethan house built in 1583 by William Doddington. In 1600 committed suicide, and the tragedy continued when his grandson Henry hanged himself in 1630. And that was for murdering his mother. So quite a tragic family. Anyway, the house was then sold in 1748 to a royal physician called Sir Edward Halt, and the house has been in the Halt family ever since. There's a fire in 1856, but it was rebuilt, and during World War II, General Patton used Breamore House as his HQ for the invasion of Normandy. It's been used in several film shoots, notably Pride and Prejudice, starring Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden. Okay, so Breamore House, you can visit Breamore House, tickets available from the farm shop. If you carry on another mile or so, maybe a little bit more, up this track through the woods to the top of the hill, there's a lovely view from the top of the hill, but there's also a medieval mizmaze, possibly built in the 12th or 13th century by priory canons, and they would have been crawling around there on their hands and knees as a penance for some perceived sin. Anyway, we've come as far as we're going to see the house. We're going to do the shorter route rather than extend it up through the mizmaze, but I will put photos on the internet to show you the mizmaze. We're going to turn back round, head down to the gate, and then turn left to the church. So here we are at St Mary's in Breamore, and it wasn't chainsaws, it's strimmers. Probably the noisiest strimmer on the whole planet. I'll wait until we're inside the church in the quiet to tell you what's what. So we're lucky, church is open, so I can tell you all about it. Lovely old ceiling up there. Nice wooden pews. So here we are, we've got a bit of peace and quiet from the strimmers outside. As you can plainly see, this is a Saxon church. It was built about the time of Ethelred the Unready. There are stone coffins here somewhere that have been relocated from the village. I'll have a look round for them, but I can't see them at the moment. Maybe you'll have better luck than me, but if I do see them, I'll put them on the video. There's some medieval wall paintings. Oh, the old priory was down in the village, by the way. Well, we're having a good look for those stone coffins, but I've got to say, haven't found them yet. There's some very old graves, but no, can't see the stone coffins. Those headstones have worn away, they're so old. I can't not talk about a yew tree, can I? So yew trees, found in churchyards because they're revered by Christians as a symbol of death and resurrection. Because as you can see from this one, when it puts out branches, sometimes they touch the earth and a new tree springs up. That one has several. So it's probably getting on for 1,000 years old maybe. So we're going this way, through the rally field, and you exit the field through there, or you could hop over the gate, and we turn left down the lane, and we're going to carry on around the bend, and you pass North Street Farm on your right, and immediately there's a footpath which we will follow. Now, I haven't given you this tip for a long time either, mainly because, like this one, drinking troughs for animals have changed, but you could fill up your water bottle on the older ones by lifting the lid, and there's just like a ball cock in there like you get in a toilet, and you just push the arm down and fill your bottle. But all the modern ones seem to have locks on, so unless you want to have a drink from the trough, which I don't recommend, then make sure you've got plenty of water. Anyway, we continue to keep the field boundary to our right and follow it across the field. And just keep heading across the fields till eventually come out through that gate onto a road, and we'll turn right. And we come out into the garden of this pretty cottage. A very unusual, looks like a moose on top of the thatched roof. And we're going to take the drive and turn right onto the lane. Okay, we've exited the cottage drive and we turn right onto the lane. So walk up the road to the lodge, and you'll see on the left by the Breamore sign there's a footpath heading out across those fields. Yep. And that's where we're going to go. It's quite a nicely defined path across the marsh. Straight on down the track then, Trev.
Oh, come on in.
You don't need to hold that plastic bit, get hold of the wire bit.
Yeah.
And when you come to these lovely houses, There's a footpath, tucked away, hidden to your left. And we've come out by the village school. Quite a surprisingly big school for a little village. Okay, so that was a lovely walk, about 5.5 miles. Lots of good scenery. Recommend this one. So I think it's about time to go in the pub and have some lunch. But if you like the video, then please like and subscribe. It really does help get the videos out there. But until then, let's go in the pub and have some